Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's just make sure that audio is solid. Good. We're good to go. What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to Man of Prestige. Welcome back, Man of Prestige. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to cover some trendy topics today. I'm going to give you my take on these different topics, and we're going to have a good time doing it. I'm going to have a good time doing it, okay? Well, we're going to talk about Tariq Nasheed. We're going to talk about Nicki Minaj. We're going to talk about Kevin Samuels. We're going to talk about Joe Biden. We're going to talk about the ISIS dude that just got killed. We're going to talk about quite a few things. Mark Zuckerberg losing $30 billion today. I got some things that we're going to talk about, and we're also going to learn some lessons from it. Okay. With that being said, I don't want to waste any further time. I wanted to get into the business of the day. As usual,
Hey! Wait! Hey! Wait! Hey! Wait! Yo!
Get off of me, nigga!
Help me!
Fuck
yo.
wrong with you, nigga?
Come on! Where my glasses?
Get off of me before I drop your goofy ass again. Now beat that, bitch ass nigga. Pay for this shit. Hurry up.
No,
Pay
come
for
on.
that shit and hurry up before I drop your
Yo.
ass again. Touch me, then I'm
Yo,
gonna drop
stop
you.
video before they
Quit
help
touching
me.
me.
You got my key.
Quit touching
Nobody
me,
help
bitch.
you.
No,
Nobody help
come
you.
on.
and don't forget. All right, awesome. So, the first thing I want to talk about is Tariq Nasheed. No disrespect to this brother, but I'm not sure where this picture came from. But somehow this picture is somewhere on Google. I'm not sure if they're trying to clown him or anything like that. But I did not create this picture. I promise you, I did not create this picture. But nonetheless, it's hilarious, and also, I think he can take a few jokes here and there because he's the king of joking around, calling people names. And I mean, I've watched enough videos at this point in time. I realized that that's just his thing. So let me just see here. So that's his thing, but that's not going to discount his message. I think he has some. He has something to say. He has some really, really valid points to say with regards to foundational Black Americans and their relationship with the policies, immigration policies, and the relationship with the Caribbeans, the Africans, and just people from different places that comes to America, and according to him, have a problem acknowledging that the foundation of Black Americans has been here, um, I guess, slaving to build the society that we all kind of enjoy today. Even if you don't live in the United States of America, let's keep it a buck. You're enjoying America either in the form of AIDS or being protecting the world, the military power, and all these different things. And maybe in a different way, another angle to it is being oppressed by America because it's still the most powerful nation on earth as we're talking right now. So with that being said, I got a couple of clips that I feel like we should play. Like I said, he's the king of clowning people. As a matter of fact, he got on my radar because apparently they were having a Twitter space where they're having discussions about this issues, and he basically started muting people once they start spewing things that he doesn't agree with. He just mute them, and I actually don't disagree with doing that. I kind of like move in the clubhouse space quite a bit, and sometimes people just talk bullshit that they deserve to be muted. Nonetheless, I try to control myself and not act like a dictator on those kind of platforms because it actually ruins the experience for people, right? So I don't agree with the idea of muting people when they're saying something that you don't agree with. I don't agree with that. But that's his style. I was just listening to another platform by Suzette Speak where they're talking right now as to speak. They're talking about leadership and there's a gentleman up there. I think his name is Dr. Thunder, and he made a very nice quick submission within the 2 minutes that I was there about the different types of leadership. There is type A, there's type B. Type A knows exactly what it is. It's closer to the dictatorship type of leadership, and the type B understands that there are nuances to life, and there are gray areas to life, and especially with respect to leadership skills. the type B will probably be the first to agree with you that a leader has to know how to follow as well. In so many, we can dice that in so many different ways. But I want to play this clip because I don't want to waste too much time. Let's watch it together.
Going on,
Okay, now where you from, sir?
Pittsburgh, PA,
Okay, now where's your family from?
from Georgia. I'm not
Okay.
an immigrant.
Okay, you FBA.
Yeah, well, yeah. But my
Okay.
question is,
So, just in case you don't know, FVA stands for Foundation of Black Americans. And I didn't, when I heard this guy said yes, I wasn't convinced either, but maybe it is, right? And also, let's be clear, there's a lot of Black Americans that disagree with Tariq Nasheed's, what should I call it, belief system? Ideologies, right?
you got a white woman living there. What about that?
I have a white woman living where?
You got a white mother-in-law. So what does she say about all this?
Where's the white woman living in my house?
But you have a white mother-in-law, right?
You just said a white woman is living in my house. Where?
You have a white mother-in-law. So I don't
You
understand.
wait. Now you're changing a lie. You're changing
No,
your
I'm
lie.
not. No, I'm not.
I don't have any. But you said that
You do have a white mother-in-law.
prove
Yes.
there's a white woman.
So I think he's married to a biracial woman, and maybe because he has a huge YouTube platform and social media presence, maybe in one of his videos, I can probably sense that right now. One of his videos is admitted to having his mother-in-law living with him, but that's what I'm suspecting. And that's what this guy is talking about. Because again, keep in mind that you may not see it as a creator, as an influencer online, but people are watching your move, and you may say something like, I don't know, maybe like 3 months ago, and they picked up on it, and they bring it up 3 months later, and you're like capping about it. But maybe not. But this guy seems very convinced that he has a white woman living in his house, the mother to his biracial wife. Now, the question I will ask is that how's that relevant to anything, right? Maybe because he also pushes very hard at other people with rhetorics that are not necessarily relevant to the topic. Maybe that's why he's attracting that back to himself. Maybe not. You just never know, right? But from what I'm seeing here, it sounds to me that he knows what he's talking about, but I don't see how that will be relevant to the issues that are facing quote unquote foundational Black Americans and their relationship with the rest of the world or the policy makers when it comes to immigration. I'm not seeing the relevance. Maybe somebody can enlighten me, right?
She does live with you, but we do know
No, she
that.
doesn't. Prove it. Prove it. Prove it.
So,
Prove
no,
it.
you blocked me on Twitter when I
Now, of course, you can't prove it on this live session right now. This is Instagram Live. Of course, you can't prove it right now, right? But he said, prove it. Like, that's like a thing that's actually going to get anything. I'm not saying that.
proved it. So,
Prove,
but you
prove
do
that
have a
white
white
woman
mother-in-law.
lives in my house. Prove it.
You have a white mother-in-law.
Prove she lives in my house.
You have a white mother-in-law. You're not
Okay,
even.
you're repeating everything like a
no.
bitch.
Yes or no? Do you have a white mother-in-law?
You're repeating everything like a bitch.
He said it's repeating everything like a bitch. Now, I would agree to that, okay? Even if he said it 3 months ago, right? And you're not bringing it up like that, that's a bitch move, let's be honest, especially when it's not relevant. You know me, I will call it out as I see it, right? But again, this is between two Black Americans, so I should probably know my space and not and stay out of it. But again, as you can see, he's a king of clowning people, shaming, insulting people. When I mean, unless you want to tell me he's pretending right now, but I've seen enough, right?
You're just whining like a bitch, and you're not FBA.
Oh yeah, by the way, I tell people they're whining like a bitch too. As a matter of fact, this channel was started off of the back and shoulders of the manosphere. I do feel like majority of the people in the manosphere, including some of their gurus, many of their gurus, act like bitches. And when I say bitches, I don't mean women. I mean worse. Okay, so I'm saying that with all due respect to the female gender.
You're not FBA. You got an old 2001 do-rag looking like you're from a Nelly video. Okay, so you're not a Foundation of Black
Yeah, that's terrible.
American. You're making up fantasy white people living in my house. There is not a white person living in my house, and you're trolling like.
There you have it. I have to believe him right now, right? But maybe at one point, maybe If he has a biracial mother will be over sometimes, right? I don't see how this is relevant, but I'm just pointing out that Tariq Nasheed is not innocent when it comes to using some of our favorite colorful words to call people out of their bullshit. So maybe that's why it's getting the pushback too. It's okay.
Go ahead. All right, let's get some.
All right, so there's another video that actually showcases him using, shaming, insulting, and to get his message out there. So now, to quite a large number of people, his message will be missing in the midst of all of this nonsense. And I'm here to just again call it out as I see it. And I feel like I'm having a hard time getting to the message that the foundation of Black Americans are trying to pass along to the rest of the world, the policymakers when it comes to immigration. I'm an American by birth here, so my parents are Nigerians. So again, what is the message? The message is kind of getting lost here, and I'm here to basically showcase how that happens, right? When people don't take accountability for how they speak in public, right? And they say, hey, I just speak how I speak. I'm just speaking in general. They're either speaking in general or they're speaking from a very worst case scenario standpoint. They never talk about the best case scenario. And then they wonder why they're attracting the worst case scenario, because that's basically what you spew, right? So let me play this other video right here.
Bring this money to the people you made these donations.
Let me set this up. This is a video of him addressing they don't sound like Nigerians, but they sound like Africans. So let me just play it.
For.
Why don't you show me your receipt for your llama?
You're a crook. You're a crook.
See what I mean? That's what I'm saying. This guy has no valid
First of all, there's
argument.
no
He wants to come on
llamas.
stage.
Listen, 1 second. There's no llamas in Africa. Llamas are found in Asia. You dumbass nigger.
Whoa. Right, again, whatever energy you put out there, you're gonna kind of attract that. I mean, even me myself right now, the fact that I'm shedding light on this, if I attract some negative energy, it is what it is. That's how life works. And I'm teaching you young men, men in general, that this is the reality. Like, no matter how much you try to call this emotionalism, I'm going to talk about that later. This is the reality. The energy you put out, yay, for, nay, neither here or there. Maybe your intentions are overrated. Whatever energy you're putting out there, regardless if you meant to make it negative or not, you're going to attract that back to yourself. So am I saying you can completely eliminate that? No, I'm saying you may want to manage what kind of energy you put out there, and don't bitch around social media when you attract similar energy or something that helps create the polarity that you're looking for, whatever, But again, this is all about energy, and that's what it is.
Secondly, stop with the stupid jokes. You said you want to have a healthy, grown-up discussion. Let's have one.
That's what he claims, but the jokes are crazy. I mean, I've heard quite a lot, but this is just a few. This is just a token of what I've heard in the last few days that you guys have been teaching me, and I've been following this trail here, right?
Tariq, this is the platform. This is the place. Instead of resorting to your fourth grade, jokes, let's have a grown-up conversation. All right, nigger? The floor is yours.
Now, you're calling somebody a nigger and you're saying, let's have a grown-up conversation. You clearly don't want to have this conversation either, right? So again, everyone is just full of shit at the end of the day, right?
Sir,
Boys aware, llama is only found in South America, not in Asia.
Sir, all the nigger target does it.
Somebody educate me. What is that they're talking about? Is that llama? Is that some kind of, is it lion? Llama? Is that some kind of animal? It sounds like they're talking about some kind of animal that's found in certain parts of Africa. But again, these people, especially men, they're always looking for opportunity to hear themselves, educate other people. I get it. You have a urge to educate people on something and you found somebody that doesn't know any better. And this is part of the problems, right? And that takes away from energy that you could use to listen to other people. And this affects every single types of relationship you're going to encounter, either romantic or business or social media or political, all this kind of things, right?
Doesn't matter as long as my clothes don't smell like cheetah pee.
Where the fuck do cheetahs pee? What the fuck is wrong with this nigga?
Yeah, the clothes smell like backwood.
Wait. Let me go back. I got to go back.
Like cheetah pee. Okay. sir, all the nigga talk, it doesn't matter as long as my clothes don't smell like cheetah pee.
Oh, as long as his clothes. So this is him also engage. This is Tariq Nasheed engaging these people. Hey, by the way, I got this clip from his channel, which I started following. I think I have to follow, right? Because I'm still looking to learn. I want to know what the message is, but it's going to take me a minute. I'm patient, right? But maybe you guys can educate me here. But he's talking about as long as my clothes, you call me nigger, as long as my clothes don't smell like cheetah pee. Wow. Whoa.
Where the fuck do cheetahs pee? What the fuck is wrong with this nigga?
Your clothes smell
All right, that guy sounds like Uganda. It sounds like one of like Uganda or Tanzania or something like that.
like backwards. You have many of
No,
them.
I swear he
Where
Hey,
do
thinks.
Tariq.
cheetahs
I
pee?
swear he thinks.
Cheetahs are almost
I bet
extinct.
his leaders.
Yo,
Wait, I feel like I'm hearing a lady in the background too, right?
His people
does this
I
guy,
think
one
he's
second,
want
one
to.
second. Yo, 1 second. Does this guy think that Africa's full of wildlife? Like, there's no cheetahs are actually about to become extinct.
Well, to be fair, I don't think Tariq Nasheed thinks that, but I think it's a quick joke, run to joke that you can run to if you have a bunch of Africans trying to shame you and using colorful languages like this. I think it's only natural that he will go for the closest thing that he can use to insult you. I don't like. I don't think he thinks everything is wildlife. Hopefully, he doesn't. Right? I mean, that would be completely ignorant, right?
There's like at least, I don't know, 1,000 in the wild. This nigga thinks Africa's the jungle, like the white man. What are you talking about? You smell like cheetah piss. Are you 2 years old, Tariq? You have a suit on. I see you playing dress up, but you can't even conduct yourself like a grown up.
Oh yeah, speaking of playing dress up, there's a lot of people playing dress up, and they're full of shit in a lot of ways. And I'll tell you right now, Kevin Samuels is one of them. As a few people, Kevin Samuel, there's a lot of things that he says that make sense in terms of all the facts. I think 95, 96, 97% of the facts that he spew out there are probably facts. Not probably, they're facts. But in terms of interpretation and application, he's terrible. He's terrible. And yes, I said it. He's absolutely terrible. Now, I've listened to him long enough that I know there's a lot of places where it makes sense. In fact, one thing that he makes sense a lot in is let me wait until Kevin Samuel. I do have to react today to his encounter with Nicki Minaj.
Come on, man. I'm being ashamed of you right now. Really sad, Mulai.
This gorilla graduated from O Block University. I don't think he knows much.
Wait, when did y'all start
Okay.
representing all of
Let him
Africa?
speak. Let him speak, guys. Let him speak.
Sir, the
He dropped out of high school.
You're right, sir. You're right. The cheetahs are extinct because you ate them.
Whoa! He says the cheetah are extinct because you ate them. Oh my God, this guy, man. Again, I can't feel too sorry for him. His mouth is a weapon. His mouth is vicious. Oh my God.
No,
Oh my
because
God,
black
your
people
jokes
keep
are
doing
so
drills on the
outdated, Tariq.
cheetahs.
You know what your issue
Yo,
is?
the
Right,
jokes
Your
are
Your
issue is you
worse
can't be a.
and worse.
One
I'm
second,
fucking
Wadia.
crying.
Do you
Yo,
know
one
how
second.
dumb you fucking sound right now?
Don't eat cheetahs.
Yo,
nigga.
Wadia. 1 second, bro. Yo, listen.
Waxaan
Tariq.
xoolaha naga kaxeeya.
I mean, it's good. He said, don't eat cheetahs. Oh man, this is funny as shit, man.
Yo, Sugora.
You
Sugora.
had
Yo,
cheetah
listen.
meat with injera.
Tariq, you know what your problem is? You say
Injera
that.
and
This
Listen,
nigga saying I'm
hold on.
everywhere.
1 second.
That's
Yo, let me
Ethiopian.
speak.
He
injera
goes
and
wherever.
One
chicken.
second.
He goes.
All right, so that's crazy. Oh my God. I mean, you can't make this shit up, right? I got that. I stole that from Kevin Samuels, by the way. You can't make this shit up, right? But I think, here's what I think about Tariq Nasheed. I'm still trying to learn. The message is kind of mixed up in the funk. There's a lot of shaming back and forth and insults going back and forth. What is the core message? Listen, I know I can Google it. I guess I can find it somewhere in a book, one of his books somewhere. Foundational Black American. What's the mission here in terms of even the topic at hand, the immigration policy? What are we trying to accomplish here? Let me know. Educate me. I'm going to continue to try to study this guy and see what we can come up with. But this was hilarious. I definitely want to encourage you, just in case you just landed here, go back. I will put the chop up of the videos up later. But yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, so right about now, I think we should just go ahead and go to I think we should go ahead and address this part right here. We should address Kevin Samuels, okay, and Nicki Minaj, okay. Kevin Samuel called into Nicki Minaj's Instagram live show yesterday, And it was hilarious. There's a lot of things that I want to call out for what it is. I have a lot of respect for Kevin Samuels. Let's be clear. I disagree with a lot of this stuff. I think he has a lot of clownish moments. But my job is to point these things out. I don't know these people personally. I'm just, again, another content creator in this space, and I feel like there's a space of a lot of lessons that we can learn. Okay, as gentlemen, between each other, we can teach each other, right? I think he's brought some value to the space, particularly popularity. He's brought, and then the second thing he brought to this space is really to bring some awareness to the ladies' behavior that they may not like. No, probably most likely we're not gonna call them out on this, right? So I would say Kevin Samuels has held a lot of women accountable. Now, in terms of how that affects people's personal relationships, I'm not sure. I think, according to him, some people got married, but getting married is a different ballgame from staying married, right? I think he claimed about 50 people got married off of his message, right? I do know one person particularly that has claimed that his rhetorics help her marriage. This was a woman, So I absolutely don't want to take that credit away from him, right? But in terms of majority of people that are following him, majority of people that are on his balls, yes, I dare said it, that are kissing his ass, right? These people are going to have a hard time maintaining long-term relationships. And it won't be Kevin's fault. Let me just be honest. But his message is going to be a big part of that, right? His message, let me say his viral message. His viral message is quite different from when you watch his long form. I want to be extremely fair to him. When you watch his long form, he has a lot of lessons. As a matter of fact, even if you watch his Men's Week, he holds men just as accountable, right? So I want to give him that. But his viral message are extremely vicious. His mouth is vicious, just like Tariq Nasheed. He's the king of shaming, insulting, guilt tripping. He actually does it best, right? And absolutely, the last part, which is need to be right, I don't think he does that. I've seen him in different lights, and especially even in engaging Nicki Minaj here, right? I've seen him when he engages the ladies on the Peep Network. He's very respectful, and he's very calm, and he brings a little different demeanor than when he's on his show. So I want to be very fair to him across the board, but I also want to point it out that there is a reason. I don't want to bring it personal, but I have to bring it personal. Like, come on, it's personal. These things it starts from personal. When you're spewing rhetorics at me, I have to question your personal life at some point. Yes, you want to speak general and you want to speak to worst case scenarios only, but you never want to speak about the best case scenario. Then I have to ask you, what kind of experience have you gone through personally? One thing we know is that he's been divorced twice. That's what I've heard, right? I've heard that he's been divorced twice. I've heard that his first marriage was a long time ago, maybe even the last marriage. So I'm not too sure that we can just neglect that when it comes to some of his most negative moments, which happens to be the most viral moments, okay? But again, I want to be very careful. I want to be very fair to him that when it comes to him telling people, encouraging people to go to therapy and stuff like that is very important. But let's get into this right now.
Samuels.
Oh. Didn't know, man. All I heard was blood clots and shit. I'm old.
That's funny.
Over there,
so. Let me tell you. You see, let me tell you why I love the universe, and I am a firm believer of the universe.
Okay.
Listen, I wanted to get on and talk to you for a very long time.
Is that right?
That's very right.
What we got?
So I want to know what you gotta, let's have this real talk. Let's have this real talk. Because I know a lot of times when people will speak to you, it's like they trying to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you call somebody trying to be funny, yes, I feel if you call somebody trying to be funny, then don't be mad at what you get. If you call somebody that, and you're really trying to.
And again, if you his most viral moments are him checking the ladies and holding them accountable, whatever, right? Like basically cursing them out, sometimes hanging up on them, right? That's some of his most viral moments. Well, you're going to attract trolls that would try to test you, and they come on there, and and I've seen him get triggered. He gets triggered unless he's gonna claim that he was just pretending. That was him really getting triggered when those trolls come in.
Because isn't that what you do?
So at this point, she's asking him to rate her.
Sincerely ask questions or get information or chat, then that's different. So I want to talk to you.
Okay. What are we talking about?
Well, what do you rate me?
Is that what we're starting off with?
Yeah.
Do you think the men rate women?
So for those of you that may not know, he's known for rating women, but not directly, right? He usually will ask them to rate themselves because, again, there's a bunch of entitled ass women that will come on his show and talk about all these things that they think they deserve, and he makes them rate themselves. So at that point, I have to say that's fair. But of course, a lot of people take the viral moment and run with it, and
People. I asked if they rate themselves. I usually ask these questions.
So let's start it that way.
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
Dress size?
My dress size?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about his body language. His body language, what I'm reading here is that he came in a little bit nervous, okay? Because again, this is Nicki Minaj. Let's not cap. I'm not even shaming him for that. This is Nicki Minaj. She's huge. She's probably the biggest female rapper right now. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere between her and Cardi B. I'm not sure, but she's big. So his body language is quite different. He's not in this element. But again, I said it earlier. I think Kevin, generally, when he's outside of his space, he's very respectful, he's calm, and this is an example of it.
7.
Can't use 7. That's why 7 is the most common answer.
Really?
It's the default answer for most
She rated herself
They don't
7.
want to go too high. They don't want to go too low.
Well, no. It ain't a default answer for me.
Well, let's see. I'll give you a 9.
Whoa, come on, Kevin. A 9 for Nicki Minaj. All right, that's all cap. There's all kind of cap written all over there, right? Now, again, she's being sarcastic too. Are you looking at her facial? Let's just look at her sign language, right? Not sign language, her body language. I'm going to talk about sign language in a little bit here, right? But just look at her body language. She's being sarcastic. It's almost like she's also trying to clown him. There were not all the way through, but there were moments that I felt like she was trying to do that.
Or anything like that. It's much more based upon what babies, animals, human beings have evolved to find attractive.
Wow.
You get additional points because we've evolved to find more slanted eyes, somewhat attractive, especially when they're not on Asian.
Wow.
All right, so he just basically said that the standard is Asian. Hi, Just J, how you doing? Good to see you, my sister. Notifications, the algorithms is controlling that, so we shall see how things pan out over time. But thank you so much for being here.
Down to something that's going to make a viral moment.
So the question I was going to ask is that what's the standard when you're rating people, when you're rating women? What is the standard, right? And what I've heard so far is that people don't have an exact standard. Now, he just denied that it's not Eurocentric standard. He just denied that. So, again, what is the standard here? Now, the standard, according to him, is some kind of, I guess, is an image consultant. So suddenly it's about how symmetric your face is, and then slanted eyes. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it is. That's your standard. For me personally, my eyes are not computer made. They're made by God, and I'm not sure if my naked eyes can necessarily measure symmetry exactly. And I think most human beings will agree with me. But maybe his eyes are trained to do that, right? But again, most of us don't see things that way. So that makes that standard already flawed.
I'll start a conversation. Take the good with the bad. Have you seen anything else that I do?
I saw one time when you checked this lady for, I guess it was a white lady or a Hispanic lady, and you was like, oh, you're not gonna come on this show and talk down on black women. That's what the fuck you're not gonna do.
Yeah.
And so again, that was
Kevin
a
is
clip.
a gentleman.
I didn't see the
let's not get it twisted.
context
Overall,
really,
okay.
Well, I get a rap of hating black women, and it's
That's
far
because of the
from that.
the
I mean,
viral
there are
moments.
50 black women who report that they've gotten married as a result of watching my content in the last year.
Really?
It's on my Instagram. I actually had a young sister just post up.
So I can appreciate that. If he checks some women of a different race from now thinking they should now start checking black women, I can respect that, right? But I said it's a gentleman because, again, a majority of his show, you could see his demeanor. The viral moments are the viral moments for a reason. The viral moment also is an indication of when it's triggered. So I'm not discounting the viral moment either. If he gets triggered like that with strangers, is he getting triggered like that in his personal relationships? I'm just asking, right?
And it is to that. So I let women from other races come in. I'm like, okay, well, can you learn anything from them? What would you teach them? And the one woman came in and she thought she was going to do what I did to black women. I'm like, hold on, oh wait. Now we can talk this way, but Karen, you sit your ass down over there because I don't play that.
So good. So he checked some lady from a different race. But let's go to the sign language, right? Now, again, your viral moments are your responsibility. How you react to triggers are your responsibility as a man. You don't get to say, oh yeah, but that's just a moment. No. Listen, I'm talking about consequences. I'm not talking about me. I'm not judging you. But I'm saying your viral moments are created from the moments when you're triggered. Moments when you were put in a position that's not exactly comfortable, right? And especially if you are a Kevin Samuel viewer, right? Maybe not him. Maybe he's putting on a show. Who knows, right? I don't know him at all to even be able to judge him like that. But if you watch this kind of stuff long enough, you're going to take this back to your personal relationship, and you may end up attracting sign languages like this. Okay, watch this.
Y'all, can we stop talking about if these niggas want us or not? Excuse me, Kevin. This is not. I'm talking to black women real quick. Can we stop Can we stop?
But wait, hold on. Kevin is in front of you. You're having a conversation with him, and you're just gonna call men niggers and shame them and right in front of him. That right there is a disrespect to Kevin. That right there is a direct shot at Kevin because it's the one engaged. He may not see it that way, but again, I'm speaking right now, right? I'm the one. This is my opinion. That's a direct shot at him. Okay? Even though because again, it's sign language. It's my interpretation of what sign language is, which means she's not talking directly. She's been indirect. She's been sarcastic, right? But it's also sign language, shame, insult, guilt, right? And the idea here was that, no, we already talked about Tariq Nasheed. Sorry. He's a legend. Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. I agree with you, man. At this point, I think he's a legend because he definitely has but I already talked about him, so you can watch the beginning of the stream or wait for the rebroadcast. But anyway, let's keep talking about. That's a direct shot at Kevin Samuels. The idea was for him to be triggered. That was a shit test right now, right? So let's see if he passes the shit test, right?
Posting all day on TikTok because I newly went to TikTok and I just kept seeing this. Black women, can we stop talking about if these successful black men want us or not? Like, can we just focus on us and we be successful and then we go out there and we decide who the fuck we want? Because what I've been seeing is, I feel like I've been seeing men using that as an opportunity because they've been hurt and somebody that.
Whoa, they've been hurt. Oh, not the same. Oh, they've been hurt. Who hurt you, right? Who hurt you? I do think that majority of the men that relate with the manosphere message have been hurt. Yes, there I said it. Yes, and no, you cannot discount that. You've been hurt. You're relating with somebody that you know that's very close to you have been hurt by women. There's no way. You're going to have to prove that wrong. Oh, yeah, we should stay on the conversation. No, fuck you. You've been hurt, and I shouldn't have to wait until women tell you. As a man, as a fellow man, I can tell you. It's okay. It's okay. Somebody stomped on your heart. I get it, okay? But it is what it is, right? But do I have to wait until Nicki Minaj tells you? But again, she's talking to her fellow black women, but she's supposed to be talking to Kevin. That is a direct shot at Kevin. If something keeps coming up over and over and over again where there's smoke, there is fire. We got to pay attention to that.
And they've been using it as a way to come out and lash out and poke fun at black women and use it as a way to feel like they somebody or they something. Or so for all you niggas that's doing that on TikTok, wherever the fuck y'all at, eat a dick, go away. Nobody gives a shit about you. And I want black women to stop.
Wait, let's look at Kevin's body language right now. Let's look at Kevin's body language. He's rolling his eyes. Kevin rolls his eyes. That's a fact of life. He rolls his eyes. Once he's starting to get triggered, he rolls his eyes. But this is Nicki Minaj, right? What are we going to do? Curse Nicki Minaj out? Now, ideally, personally, right, I would like him to keep the same energy here, right? Let me see what my brother here said. Canadian-born Nigerian. Brother, I need you to come up. I'm going to call you up. Hopefully you're still here when I'm ready for that. I've seen it, and you can tell Kevin Samuel wasn't moved by what she said. Oh, no, he's rolling his eyes. He is moved. He's been triggered, but he did a great job passing the shit test. I would give you that. But the idea that, like, he's not moved, like, just look at the body language, right? Moved by what she said, because at the end of the fact and truth override opinions. No, truth overrides facts, okay? And truth is a function of time. It's not something you and I say at this point in time. Only time will tell us the truth. Now, you do understand Yoruba, hopefully. I think you do understand Yoruba. Like, Biroba Lologu Odun, one day, right? Truth is a function of time. I see a lot of people talking about truth, and it's just their own personal opinion. And that's all semantics, right? But what we know about truth is that it's a function of time, and eventually it will show up, right? But yeah, again, back to the sign language here. The sign language is at all-time high. Let's keep listening.
Fucking posting about whether or not y'all want black women or not. Okay? Well, I want black women just to focus on themselves, be successful, and then you go out there and you decide the trajectory of your life. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of hurt on both sides.
Whoa, nah, keep the same energy. There's only hurt on one side. Come on, Kevin, come on. There should be only hurt. I'm being sarcastic, by the way, just in case you haven't realized. There should be hurt on only one side, only the women's side, right? Not on both sides. Come on, Kevin. That's sign language. That's pandering to Nicki Minaj at this point. Because if we're going to keep the same energy, we should just say there's only hurt on one side. Because that's the way the manosphere act. That's the way they act. Like there's only hurt on one side. But I think that's probably the biggest truth I've heard so far. Now, that's my opinion. That's me pushing against myself, like David was just saying, right? Mr. Ayeni, right? So, yeah, so let's keep it going here. Now, Just Jay, I know you enjoyed that video. I know. And I've seen some people review this video, and they're all full of shit. Every single person I've seen review this video are full of shit. They are. They didn't keep it a buck. But you can count on me keeping it a buck when it comes to this space. Meaning, I will talk from both sides of my mouth sometimes, right? Let's keep playing this, right?
And a lot of, and especially in the black community, we don't really do a lot with counseling, therapy. I recommend therapy often because
definitely he does. He gets that credit.
That we want to deal with. And marriage and relationships are not for everybody. And I'm just trying to, ultimately I ask people, what do you want? What do you want? And what are you prepared to do to get what you want? And are you willing to pay that cost? It's really the conversation, but it always gets kind of whittled down. But at the end of the day, what we are seeing.
So two things here. He definitely kept it. He maintained his masculine frame. I really appreciate that because that's what I teach here, right? He passed the shit test, right? I saw the rolling eyes thing, right? But he passed the shit test. I would definitely give him that. But he attracted this because of the rhetorics in some of these most triggering moments when they got triggered that went viral out there. Let's keep it a buck, okay? But he also got popular off of it. In fact, speaking of clout, he got clout off of it. In fact, speaking of clout, I'm chasing clout right now. Again, I'll keep it a buck here, okay? Why are we talking about this trending stuff? Because we're all chasing clout. Let's keep it a buck, right? Let's keep it a buck. One thing you're not going to see out there in the manosphere, in the real people that are controlling the manosphere, they're not going to keep it a buck. Majority of them are full of shit. They are, okay? But I can give him his credit right now that he just passed the shit test. But did he pass the shit test because it's Nicki Minaj? If it was some random chick that came on his show, would he pass this? Or maybe he's just, again, he does what's best for his channel, which is basically to to make it go viral. I can also respect that. This is business at the end of the day. I told you, I pride myself in keeping the buck. It's okay. It's not really that deep. But let's keep going. That's an overused word. I guess you're talking about clout, right? Let's keep playing.
Thing is, especially if you're under 30, it's harder for guys today under 30 than it was from 50 years ago, because you can't take care of a family on out of high school or just coming out. So they're at the bottom. And I just had men's week, and I told guys, look, while you're under 30, work.
Right. So let's see here. Nicki Minaj is a non-FBA. She's a Trinidad immigrant. Yes. And last time I checked, that wasn't a crime. Has she spoken anything against the FBA? If she did, let me know so we can address it. KS know how to make his money. Absolutely. And that's actually probably some of the top most respect that I have for him, if anything. Because while a lot of people take this back to their family, they take this back to their wife, and they take this energy of let me hold you accountable back to their wife, and then they create problems that never existed. This guy is buying new new Porsche. He's having a good time. He's loving the attention. He is apparently out in California right now, about to go talk to Shambodi, talking about all these different topics that people want. He's building this empire, and I can absolutely congratulate him on that. And then again, that's one of the things I try to bring into this space, to let people know that it's neither right nor wrong when we're having this conversation. A lot of people are obsessed with right and wrong, forgetting that what they consider right and wrong is at the end of the day their own opinion or a function of their own belief system, right? And forgetting that if you really want to engage power in this life, you're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper than right and wrong, right? Let me see what my brother said, Mr. Ayeni. I would say this: when Kevin said there is hurt on both sides, let's not forget the female bashing that been going on through the yes, absolutely. Through the mainstream media like Ricky Lake, Jenny Jones. Now you're telling on your age. You have to be alive in the late 90s into early 2000 to know who these people are. The Real and many other shows. Yeah, the most recent ones. Absolutely. But guess what? There's a deeper meanings to why that is that way, right? The truth is that the people that are patronizing corporate businesses are women. They control the patronization of those businesses. They may not directly be patronizing it, but they're the one that control it. Men, in fact, anything we purchase, anything we buy, anything, we're doing it a lot of time because of women, right? While in a lot of ways, women don't give a shit. They dress up for themselves. Like, how many times are you going to tell women, right, that listen, I like natural hair, and they tell you, screw you, fuck you, right? Like regular men like me, like I'm more attracted to everything natural, right? I don't chase after IG models, but they tell you, screw you. They rather dress up like Nicki Minaj, right? So they don't care. But anything we do, if you've noticed, is we do it for them. So what does that tell you? Women indirectly or directly control how money is being spent in any economy. They maintain the home. Also, we do things to appease them, and we overdo it, and sometimes we're doing it indirectly. Like, for example, the whole manosphere is about women. Like, just think about it. The whole manosphere is about women, to the point that women are not coming in and trying to pander to the talking point, and they are missing it, because again, you can only lie for so long. Right? Again, we're just learning, right? So you're right that it's both sides. I agree. It's about are we Are we keeping it a buck about that? Or a lot of times our rhetoric is about, oh, they're hurt. You know, they do this, they do that. Let's hold them accountable. I don't disagree. Let's hold them accountable. It's the method that's messed up. Okay, Suru laughing shoko brain. That's what we learned from where we're from. We don't put ourselves on the same level as women. We don't do. I don't care if it's publicly or anything like that. We just don't engage at this toxic level of conversation with women. That's not what we do. What we do is like we move as men, and then we're assertive when it's time to check something. And then it's undisputable because they can see how we move, and they kind of like, yeah, you're right. You know, but when we don't even look in the mirror first and we're trying to hold any other human being, even if it's a man, accountable, that's messed up, right? Let me see here. But we know she was not Nicki. He would have lit her up. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's correct. That's true. We all chase clouds. Yes, CFC, absolutely. Your marketing, I don't consider that. Well, marketing is precisely clout. Sorry. Marketing is precisely exactly that. Have you guys seen the recent TLA? I'm going to talk about it today. The recent TLA drama. I already have a video about that, but I got to talk more about that. There's some updates on that. TLA and Nick at Night. So David, don't start. David is my boy, man. Let me say my guy, you know. Yes, this is already over 500k views on this channel. Yeah. What's up, Sir Hill? What's going on, my brother? Thanks for your support always, bro. And I'm glad to have my brother David here. I just speaking the truth. How many years of women-based talk shows that have been targeting and bashing black men? Yeah, you know. So when we're talking about black men, that's very true. That's very true. It's how we're going to get out of it that I disagree. The method of how we're going to get out of it is what I disagree with when it comes to the general rhetorics in the manosphere. And that's something we can keep talking about here. And that's the whole point of this platform for all of the men of prestige that's going to be hanging out with me. That's one thing I feel like we should continue to talk about. Absolutely. But there is absolute truth in the fact that women control what kind of rhetoric is being spewed on mainstream media. But again, right now, I thought we're going mainstream, right? Kevin is going mainstream, right? So let's have the conversation the proper way. Let's come up with solutions. Let's stop talking about worst case scenario so much. We talk about worst case scenario. We talk about generalization so much. We forget the best case scenario, right? Like we barely shed light on the fact that David is married. We barely shed light on the fact that Sir Hale is married, that I am married. Happily, God damn it. We don't talk about that. The most popular rhetorics are people that are divorced. Don't you think there's a problem with that? Don't you think there's some energy that will be coming out of that that's not necessarily healthy? At least we need balanced, right? If we talk about the worst case scenario, we talk about the generalized statistics, which is essentially lagging indicators and not indication of what's going on right now. And then let's talk about best case scenario too. Let's shed some light on that. You notice what happened when you try to shed some light on that? You get beat down. Right? You get beat down, you're called you're pandering to women, right? I mean, you get the sign languages, essentially, right? But the most people that I've used the sign language the most in this space are men. I'm sorry. Her being FBA is irrelevant. Let's see. Sir Hill speaks good morning, but brother, yes. Let's see. Let me just make sure that I cover. Thank you for all of you that are hanging out here, by the way. I'm a person who is capable of seeing all sides. Yes. Tariq Nasheed, we already talked about him. It's live on Twitter Spaces. Awesome. We'll pick that up later. You hit it on the nail, my brother. Why make it seem there is no strong black man out there? Let me take it further. And why make it seem there is no strong black fathers out there as well? Yeah, there are. But it seems that there is none, right? It seems like there's none. I'm going to call out people as they come. So we're going to be having that conversation here. We always had a different meaning for clout where I'm from. Clout was always negative. Oh yeah, attention can be negative. Absolutely, clout is attention, but it can be negative. It's a double-edged sword. It's like power. It can cut both ways. But again, we defeat that old argument. You're looking for clout. We defeat that by just admitting, right? Just admit to the bullshit. Right? We're all chasing clouds. Like, listen, if it wasn't worth my time, I wouldn't be doing this shit. Can we just be honest? Right? All right. So let me see here. I think,
Look here, man. Get good at foreplay, eat some pussy, and get on. Because we don't have all that time.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. I want to move on right about now to the next topic. Let's cover it. So let me go ahead and touch on this right here. Let's touch on this right here. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Okay. I'm gonna come for all of your favorite people. Okay. I'm gonna come for them. I'm sorry. Okay. Pardon me. Okay. But I promise I'll be fair. I'll be very, very fair. I'll try to be fair. But what I want you to trust that I will come from both ends here, right? Listen, the only way I fell into the manosphere is because I've had my own experience of how women have a hard time with accountability, especially with respect to romance. Okay, but my definition, I've learned enough that it's not necessarily a hard time. It's just the feminine energy, right? Does that mean we can't hold women accountable? That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that how you move as a man is a better leverage to holding women accountable rather than your mouth. Your mouth is actually going to destroy you more, especially in mid to long term. In the immediate right now, we may not see that. It may seem like, you put her in her place. You're holding her accountable, right? It may seem that way in the short term. Yes, you get to win the argument in the short term, just like in a marriage. You want to be right, the need to be right, you get to win that game all day long. You have the right to be right. But in the mid to long term, you're going to see things like what just happened to Kevin Samuels. You're going to see even the most popular women throw shots at him and put him in a position where he may be triggered later on, right? So is that a negative thing? No, it's neither right nor wrong. I'm just letting you know, if that's not what you want, if that's not the kind of energy you want from women, then you may want to move a little bit differently. If you don't want to take that energy back to your marriage, into your relationship, because you're human like the rest of us. You're human like the rest of us. If you don't want to take that energy back to them, then you want to really be careful on what kind of stuff you're soaking, what kind of ideologies you're soaking yourself in, right? Over the past few days, I did another video on this, narrating this. You might go back and watch that, right? Language is dynamic, so I stand corrected. Yes, it flows. It's like water, right? If let's keep it a box. So basically, this young lady invited the TLA, the lead attorney, to who is an attorney on YouTube, very popular now, is blowing up really crazy right now. Congratulations to him. This young lady, Nick at Night, has about 250,000 followers, and she's been on YouTube for about 5 years. So she's doing well in her own right as far as a YouTuber is concerned as well. She invited TLA to come and talk about Tasha K, who is another YouTuber. We just got a judgment of $4 million against her for lying online, right? So, but apparently, well, TLA covered it, and I actually learned a lot about that case from. Yeah, thank you. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much for that, Just Jay. Right. So, so TLA showed up to the show, and to talk about this, and he basically did a quick promotion in the middle of the show. It was very indirect. It was pretty clean. It was actually tasteful, in my opinion, watching it again. But, he's launching a course on how to do YouTube. So he did. I don't judge him for that. He's supposed to sell, right? But the truth is that she didn't know that he was going to be promoting a course or anything like that. So they bantered back and forth, and she joked about, somebody now posted and said, nah, the course is worth every dime of the money, right? Now, I am holding O'Shea Duke Jackson accountable because he's supposed to be the second in command or first in command godfather above Kevin Samuels of the manosphere, and he's full of shit on his coverage of this material. Like, I actually saw a woman spew the same rhetorics and basically lied about how this thing actually transpired. I saw a woman do it earlier, and I'm like, okay, women, I guess maybe she had a beef with Nick, and And then in that same live stream, the lady actually apologized because Nick and Knight came on the live stream, and basically she didn't directly apologize, but she essentially said, you're right, maybe I didn't get the full story, but she was full of shit. She was trying to drag her, right? But anyway, we all know the lead attorney. He's very good at what he does, painting pictures, telling the stories. He's very good at that, right? So he used some favorite sign languages, shaming, insulting the girl. You're trying to steal my course. Basically, the girl did not literally try to steal the course. Somebody came on live and said, I bought the course. It was worth every dime. Well, she's basically indirectly saying, I don't need the course. I don't want to buy the course. That she was very direct about that. And Lead kept, trying to tell, like, listen, you're going to make money, blah, blah, blah. You don't have a Patreon. Basically, they were bantering back and forth, right? No big deal. It's okay. It's not that deep, right? But the girl, since it's not that deep, it's just all jokes. They were laughing. He was sipping on a little Starbucks like that, right? As they were laughing. It wasn't a big deal, right? And then the next thing the girl said, just send me the password. She said that to the person that said they already bought she was joking, okay? She did not need the course. She has a lot more subscribers, maybe less views and less action on her platform, less engagement, but she's, oh, by the way, in the last few days, she's also gotten some of that clout in a good way, right? But anyway, that was the whole thing. It was all a joke. But again, Lead ran with it. I think Lead is teaching that beef formula thing right now, so he's practicing it. That's what I see. But of course, this girl doesn't know that. But he basically started making fun and, created a coupon code around her name and all that kind of stuff. So up till last night, this girl is doing a live stream about don't use my name to make money from courses. I don't think she can say that. But again, she has the right to say what she says, right? But again, what I didn't like about this whole thing was not necessarily the lead attorney. It was not Nick and Knight. There were two YouTubers going back and forth with each other. I already did an analysis of what transpired between the both of them. This is not a romantic relationship. I would say the lead attorney was keeping the same energy of holding women accountable. So he attracted what he attracted, which is basically being called moist boys, okay, including O'Shea Duke Jackson, right? And it's a lot of women dragging them right now on YouTube as we speak. Of course, the people in the manosphere space, algorithm space, won't see that because you only see the people that you follow in your algorithms. That's just the way the system works. Whatever you consume the most is what you see, right? Now, I have ways of seeing things that are going down, especially so I can teach these lessons that I'm trying to pass along to other men. All right. So anyway, and this happened. I'm going to play these videos, okay, from O'Shea Duke Jackson. And I felt like this guy is he's helped the Kevin Samuels, helped the TLA, blah, blah, blah. But again, we can't really be too obvious with our biases. It's not good long term. Okay, it will kill the credibility of the space long term. You really, like, you can be biased. I can play some code like my fellow, there are times that I back away from pandering to women because I'm on code. Like, I'm a man, I don't want to come off like I'm pandering, right? But at some point you gotta, you have to basically use some wisdom there, right? It's not everything that you start saying you don't want to pander. You have to call bullshit out for what it is. So I watch O'Shea Duke Jackson, like many of you, that's how I pay attention to the news that's going on in a lot of ways. But then he had this, right? Let's play it.
Apologized, or she did apologize, but it wasn't really what it should have been. And now he's having an issue with the YouTuber by the name of Nick at Night. Now, Nick at Night is a YouTuber who I believe she does like live streams also, but she does it like the lead attorney. So she reviews things long form, very similar to him. I've never watched her channel, know anything about it, but the lead attorney has some really interesting allegations about her, that she is trying to steal or resell his course for $49.99. All right.
Now, my question is that what is the meaning of trying to steal? Now, it's either you steal or you don't steal, right? What is the meaning of trying to steal? Now, he did say it's an allegation. He did say that part. So let's keep it moving, right? Let's see. Right.
and start hating, right? And that's why it's probably
Now, in the previous submission that I did about this, I also made mention that from where I'm from, we don't talk about our successes when it comes to money. It's just not wise, right? But he does what he does. He's American. He has a different culture, and that's fine. But you can see also that O'Shea Duke Jackson agrees with me on that point here. So I'm giving him that credit as well.
get mad and start hating, right? And that's why it's probably, cool. And shout out to Dr. BOA one day, because he tried to tell me, like, man, listen, you need to, we got to stop trying to tell people what we doing, brother, and I love Doc for that. So, and he's right? I'll give a shout out to Dr. BOA. He really pulled me to the side and said that. And this is the reason why. All right. Okay, come go back. Okay.
So you see that again, we can't, it's not everything that needs to be spoken, right? So he just alluded to that as well. But in the beginning of this particular submission, he alluded to the fact that somebody is hating on the lead attorney. Again, he doesn't know the story, but he's covering it. Now, this is dangerous. Again, he does what he does. He releases, I don't know, maybe 50 videos per day, right? He can't really know all the details. But when it comes to anything that has to do with the manosphere, I think he holds it to himself to dig in a little bit deeper, or if anything, invite the lead attorney to the show to speak for himself, as opposed to now taking the screenshots and then spreading more lies about somebody. It's just not right. You can be held responsible for that over time, and that's what I'm talking about. So when I heard that, now you start to drag everybody else around and say, hey, somebody is hating on the lead attorney and all this kind of, like, come on, get off his balls, okay? Already, just stop it, okay? It's not necessary. You could continue covering your celebrity bullshit if you don't understand the story, or if you don't have the time to dig in a little bit, understand. At least go watch the freaking live. You can, anyone with a sense will see that this was all a joke. It was like just Jay just said here. It was literally a very innocent banter. Yes, it looks like the lead attorney has got some emotions from that. Yes, he's in his emotions about this issue. He's admitted to that. Also, this other lady, Nicki Minaj, is also in her emotions, and she's saying, like, listen, don't drag my name through the mud. Don't lie about me. I didn't steal your course. I mean, when you say somebody steal your course, you're going to have to prove that. You could get sued for that. I would think the lead attorney would know that. I got one more video to play off of this, and then we'll move on into some other things here. Let's see. Okay, maybe two more videos.
It's such a bad thing. So one thing I'll say about the lead attorney, he's done a lot to really energize the Black YouTube space. People like him, the Lapeef Network, Anton Daniels, guys like that, they're carrying the show these days. Where old guys like me can come by and I can just drop a super chat and just be on my way, right? And it's good to see that Black YouTube is just popping every night, And it's guys like the lead attorney, like even when the Lapeef Network lost their channel for a little bit, he was the one shouting them out and sharing their stuff. And it's a better community because of guys like Pocket Watson and JT. It's a better community because of guys like Kevin Sam. It's a better community because of guys.
All right, so on the public, it sounds cool, but let's be frank, okay? These guys have their own community internally, people that they talk to, and if you watch close enough, there are people that have the biggest platforms, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the natural way that things progress in a society, in a community, right? The biggest people will control whatever is going on. It's part of capitalism. It's just the way it works, right? But let's stop capping to the public like this idea of, oh yeah, even you, O'Shea Duke Jackson, right? You've helped people. I will give him even the credit. But the idea that all those people are giving platform, they know each other. Now, they may not know each other personally. There's nuances there is what I'm saying. There's no absolutes, right? And also, a lot of those people are people that are member of their Patreon. Again, rightfully so. You pay to access. That's how life works. In fact, that's what I teach. If you want additional access, go kiss some more balls, okay? But this wasn't necessary, because again, you're above everything. You don't even, like, if you really want to keep code, you shut the hell up, okay? You don't need to spread lies. That's basically what I'm saying. If you need to keep a code, I don't judge you for that. I think that's part of life, that you have to keep code and you have to stay on code. I think that's part of life. But the idea of spreading lies when you're in the same breath, you're claiming all of this integrity, character, we keep it a buck, we tell the truth. Like, come on, stop it.
like this. But unfortunately, you have people out here who are hating, and unfortunately, in this time, it's a sister, right?
So I guess I'm gonna be one of them. I'm hating because I'm telling the truth. Like, come on, it's not every time you hear somebody push against you that's a hater, right? And if you call it a hater, I'll change the meaning, just like I just changed the meaning of clout on you, right? It is what it is, right? I guess you could also, meanings of words change over time too. Maybe 50 years from now, hating means we disagree. It is what it is. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But results don't lie. Results never lies. All right.
And I really want to say this. For as many people are like Nick at Night, and even though I just said what I said, you have so many good people. Shout out to Uncle Stu on the Block, that YouTube channel. Go check him out. There's so many good people in the Black YouTube space that want to see you be successful. For me, it's gotten too much over the years. It's gotten too busy. It's not worth it for me anymore. But Pocket watching with J-Tac, can't say enough about his channel.
All right. So, yeah, that was that. I think there's one more clip here. Let me see if there's anything important in it. Oh, yeah, I'm going to CFC. I got you, bro. I'm going to talk about your question there in a second. Let's see here. Yeah, this last one here.
On this with class, as he always does. Yeah,
I don't know about the class thing. I don't think he was trying to have class either. I think that's all cap, right? I don't think TLA is trying to have class in this issue. So I'll give him that credit. But the idea you're classifying it as he handled it with class, no. He's dragging this lady. He's being petty. That's exactly what he's doing. It's either he's being petty or he got caught up in his emotions. That's exactly what it is, right? So either way, I can't, as far as the truth between being petty or he's dragging just to get some clout, I don't know because I'm not inside of him, right? And I'm not close to him. But I can tell you that the idea that that's class, I get to decide that. That doesn't look like class to me. And the fact that you will call that class, that's all cap. That's all cap. It doesn't make any sense. All right. So yeah, what do you think about the Lawrence Smithfields getting killed by an old white dude on dating site Bumble? That's crazy. I saw some of that, but I don't know the details of that. I don't know the details of that. Absolutely. Kim Ford, you're absolutely right. I would probably skew more in the direction of his being petty. Yeah, and that it's not that deep. And I think it's fair too because Nicki Minaj is also, she's huge. She's a public figure at this point. So she should be okay with getting dragged by another public figure, I guess. So I agree 100% that it's not, I like TLA. I'm just dragging him a little bit. I like TLA as well. He knows I like him. We've actually had encounters. So, yeah. So, yeah, like you said, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. But I think ultimately what I am saying is that if O'Shea Duke Jackson is going to get involved, he should come a little bit correct, like that. Don't get involved. If you want to stay on code, you want to side your guy, all that kind of things, don't get involved. I'm not close like that to TLA so I can drag him, right? But if you are close to him, just shut the hell up. If you feel like you have to be on the side, just shut up. There's no need to join. It's like ganging up on, like even if you know anything about the streets, the idea of ganging up on people is just not cool. It's not cool to do that, right? It's not cool. If two people are fighting, you allow them to fight it out, right? You let them do their thing and you may the best person win. That's what you do, right? That's what you do, right? So let me see here. You may have come late to the party. Let me see, but I don't like that he's accusing her of trying to steal his course. Yes, that's a direct accusation. So that's basically what I was saying, and I already spoke a lot about that. When you say she tried to steal my course, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Try to steal my course? Trying to steal your course, or she stole your course? If she stole your course and you notice that somebody hacked into the account with a fake account and you can prove it, then let's go that serious. But if she didn't steal your course, you gotta lighten that up a little bit. Let's make sure that you're just being petty, right? Let's make sure of that because people that are looking from the outside, they can't tell. All right, so let's go on to the next. Let's see here. I want to talk about this guy right here. I want to talk about, let's see. Let's talk about this. This is one of the trendy news right now. Let's talk about this guy right here. So this guy, his name is, let's see. Just give me 1 second there. Interesting. Well, he's the CNN boss, right? He got fired. I'm gonna find his name in a second. Uh, he got fired, but they call it he resigned. You know, the same thing that happened to the Cuomo's, right? Um, they call it he resigns from CNN. This guy is a big guy. You know, I'm talking about dick discipline at this point in time. We're talking about dick discipline, okay? Because it's a big part of our conversation here as men. You know, as a matter of fact, let me put that on the screen so we can make sure we know what we're talking about, right? And I always try to come up from a place that I don't want to sound like I'm judging, but I may come off that way a little bit. But I promise you, I'm just trying to have us be better, okay? I'm just trying to have us be better, okay? So there's something in Yoruba language that I call tebatiobo, right? I don't know if I can come up with a loose translation for that in English, right? It's basically when if you sleep with a girl and you just don't know when to call it quits, right? I think it's a honorable thing to stay faithful in your marriage, in your relationship. I think you're doing it for you, more importantly. I think when you do that to a lady, if you cheat on a lady and you get caught in infidelity or anything like that, I think the woman is much more concerned about the embarrassment. They don't admit this, but they're much more. What hurts the most? Let me say what hurts the most is the embarrassment, and not necessarily not anything else. Not the fact that you're not faithful. From an emotional standpoint, the embarrassment is something that hurts the ladies the most, right? So it's at least it's one of the biggest things, right? So yeah, so absolutely right. So this is craziness that's going on, right? So this guy basically, I guess he went through a divorce a few years ago, and then there's this other lady that works for him, works very closely with him, that also went through divorce. As a matter of fact, according to the news, they moved into each other's building and they were living on top of each other with each other's family. So she's married to somebody else. I'm trying to find her name right now. She's married to somebody else, and her name is Allison Golost, something like that. So she's married to somebody else, and he's married to somebody else. And eventually, I guess they were messing around, and this was already leaked in the memoir by a lady who was also a colleague who also had she's also a NBC newscaster legend. I'll find her name in a second. I'm just trying to get through to the story. The story is very, very important for us as men, because again, I think in a lot of ways, the way we move, it's not about doing the right thing or the wrong thing. I think if you do the right thing, you're doing that for yourself. Ultimately, that's between you and your God, right? That's between you and whatever creates your moral compass. What I'd like to speak to is the consequences of certain misbehavior in public, in society, not necessarily in public, in society. So Katie Couric is a journalist. I think she's retired or something like that, but I think she has a YouTube channel too these days. But she's huge in the news journalist world and stuff like that. So she released a memoir not too long ago, and she actually already spilled some of this gist that this lady, Allison and Zucker, they are messing around. Jeff Zucker, who was up to yesterday was the president at CNN. He came from NBC. So that's not a big deal, right? That's not a big deal. But the big deal is not that they, in my opinion, okay, again, a lot of people will say the big deal is that he cheated on his wife and she cheated on her husband. A lot of people will make that the big deal. I understand it. That's what we do as human beings, right? We're more concerned about the part of it that we relate with, because most people have encountered some kind of heartbreak, right? But more importantly, I am more concerned about how you move as a man in society, right? How you move as a man in society, you would already know that you're human like the rest of us. You know that that you want to position yourself to win and not act like you're going to win regardless. You want to position yourself with lots of humility when you're moving on the streets of this society, right? At the same time, you want to have confidence. So there's this fine line between confidence and humility that it's a game that you're always playing. And oftentimes, any individual would look at one side and say, hey, you're just an asshole, right? If you showcase too much confidence. That could happen, right? It just depends on that person that's observing that, right? So anyway, this guy was on code. He was trying to protect Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo was the guy who was at CNN. He had a show at night. He got fired not too long ago, just a few months back. And they called it resigns as well. They all call it resigning, but it's just getting fired. That's what it is, right? So basically what happens is that they push you into a corner and say resign, right? So it can look good on paper. That's how it works, right? So he got fired because Chris Cuomo was on code and he was on code, but he didn't do it properly, right? He left trails of him trying to help his brother. His brother was the governor up to a few months ago, Andrew Cuomo of New York, right? And he was on code trying to help his brother, but then, there's paper trails everywhere. When they did the investigation, they found out that he was actively trying to cover up for his brother. If it was my brother, I do have one brother too, just like them, right? I would do everything in my power to protect and cover up for my brother, especially if it's something as stupid as somebody, something that there's no real facts, it's just accusation. Yeah, absolutely, I will protect my brother. Are you kidding me? And if you question me otherwise, I will question your ass as well, right? So anyways, that happened. But anyway, they found the paper trails, he got fired. But then when they started to dig in a little bit deeper, they hired a law firm to question a little bit more into the case because I guess there's a case between CNN and Chris Cuomo when they were doing the investigation. Then they uncovered the fact that Jeff, the president of CNN, has been sleeping with his personal assistant by way of marketing director. She has this big old title at CNN. She still works there, by the way. And guess what happened? Let me tell you the reality. Guess who still has their job? Allison still has her job. That's the reality. Now, that's the reality. Never mind all of the different emotions that comes to place. Because imagine you're sleeping with this lady, right? You left your family for this lady. She left her husband. That's what it looks like on the outside. We don't know that for a fact. But they used to live one floor above each other in the same building. They've worked together for 20 years. So they now claimed that in recent times that their relationship has evolved into more of a romantic relationship, and they haven't disclosed. And CNN and what do you call it? What's the name of the parent company? Warner Media. They have this rule that if you are working so close together as each other's bosses or something like that, that's they want to avoid conflict of interest, right? That you can't have certain types of personal relationships. Right now, why did I bring this story here? The reason why I brought this story here because I think men these days they're acting more and more stupider. We're not in the polygamy era anymore, and people are having a hard time just being upfront, or at least moving in certain discreet behavior. That's the way you have to move discreetly, right? That's the way, and it's not one size fits all. It just depends on the case by case situation, right? But in this case, he's fumbled the bag. We have three people that have fumbled the bag because of the women. Let me tell you the reality, gentlemen. Let me tell you the reality. It's always been that way. Some of the most powerful men that has gone through this space that we call this planet, life, have the human experience. They were pulled down because of misconduct with women. Okay? In fact, a lot of times, women were used as tools to pull them down. What does that tell you and I? We have to be very careful. It doesn't mean we have to be perfect. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm not asking you to be holy like myself, because I'm not holy either. What I'm telling you is that you need to look into the history and see there's patterns. As much as we like to say things are unique to everybody's story and all this kind of stuff, there's patterns everywhere. You can see this stuff in history happen over and over again. Now, so who should we hold accountable right now? Do you want to hold Allison accountable? Again, we're talking about the corporate world right now, right? Are you going to hold her accountable? Is that going to work for you? Or you can look at this story and say, hey, it's just what it is. How do I move as we move into the future? How do I move accordingly to make sure that I don't get myself in trouble? You have men that are loud on the internet about how to hold women accountable, but they go in the DMs and they start DMing the lady. Like, are you dumb? Don't you know that that screenshot can be taken and used against you and then destroy your credibility? Listen, I try myself to stay out of people's DMs, not because I'm going there to do anything wrong, because honestly, again, that's basically what do you call it? That's exhibits that you're living all over you're living trails all over the place that can be used against you, even if you're not guilty, right? Even within a romantic relationship in a marriage, I tell men all the time, text message is not the way to go, especially when you're emotionally charged. This thing we were just talking about, just TLA just now, right? You can't leave the worst of yourself in the name of let's make money and get some clouds. You can't leave trails and screenshots all over the place like that. Listen, you may have done a good job at covering your name, right? But your behavior is, you left all these footprints all over the place in a space where they're paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to become security experts online. See, that's not wise. That's not wise. It may seem smart in the short term. You may make some good money, but it's not wise. It's not wise. Does that mean we can push the edge sometimes? Yes, we can push edge sometimes. You have to be willing to take some risk. But there's some, you start leaving some patterns, you start leaving trails of your behavior all over the place. And that's why I wanted to bring this story here today. Even in the context of a marriage, you can't, like, if she cursed you out or she said something to you, or don't do text message. Wait, be patient, practice your patience. This was the disagreement that I had when I called into the TLA show, and I said, man, gotta be patient. They took the advantage of that and gave me some clout, which I appreciate, right? Right? And because they made me try to define sign language, and I was stuck on trying to talk about what I was talking about, which is patience. Patience is key. It's a virtue. You can't have enough of patience when we're talking about this kind of stuff, right? Patience is part of your tools in the arsenal. And you're going to find that you need to use it a lot. Why? Because you're going to be triggered a lot. Your security, your sense of security will be tested a lot, right? You'll be shit tested a lot by women in general, right? And if you're not ready to really pay attention to that, you're going to be dragged through the streets of life, right? In a way that can hurt you in mid to long term. In the short term, it may seem like you got it figured out, right? But I'm just letting every man that's watching me right now know that you have to move in a way that's discreet. And be aware when you're taking a risk, there may be a downside to that. Welcome back, babe. Yeah. There may be a downside to it. Patience is key. You're going to be tested from time to time. Sometimes you fail, and but being aware of it is the biggest part of this whole thing. Just be aware, right? Just be aware. So I don't know if a Jeff Zucker is aware right now. I don't know them personally, but from what I can see on the news, we can see that CNN, like she just said, Kim417 just said CNN is in complete shambles right now. There's a lot of destabilization going on. And guess what? The president of the company, you think he got fired? You think it's just him? No, there's going to be a lot of people's job that's gone with that. Because when they hire people, just like he hired the lady, Allison, a lot of people's job is going to be gone, right? Or it's just going to destabilize things all over the place, right? And then you just expose yourself and everyone in your network to danger by not having dick discipline. Okay, so dick discipline is not necessarily me judging you for sleeping with whoever you want to sleep with. I'm just saying, like, come on, like, why are you embarrassing yourself? And you can see this at every level of society, from that level down to normal guys. You're loud on social media, on Clubhouse. You're calling women out of their names, and then you go slide in their DMs trying to appease them, and you think somebody's not going to take your screenshot. You think someone is not going to try to dox you. Of course they will, right? Now, listen, I'm good with you if you're aware that they're going to dox you. If as long as you know that, then we're all good. But if you don't know that, you're going to be pulled down from that pedestal. No condition is permanent. You have to move with humility in this online space especially. So I'm gonna leave it at that today. I had like maybe another 4 news that I could cover. I'm gonna try to limit this to 2 or 3. As you can see, I'm also long-winded myself, but I have to kind of stay natural to myself while I continue to cover some of the trending topics, right? But please help me like, share, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. Watch every video, put them on autoplay if you want to help me grow the platform. But you can trust this platform because naturally I have to keep it a buck with you. I have to keep it 100%. That's why I stay out of those spaces, because once I start to kiss ass and all that kind of stuff, then I have to kind of stay on some nonsense code. I don't want to have to do that. I want to create a balance. I do have code. I have the Sir Hills. I have the my brother David. I have the people that support me, that I support them as well. And even if when we disagree, they can give me some respect as much as I give them respect. And there's some people that I can't trust them because, superstardom does get into people's head. Money does get in people's head. And that means all of us. That means including myself if I do get into that kind of status in this space, naturally, because I would need to protect that platform as well. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out here. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. You can see the links to everything that I do in the description box below. I will continue to bring it. I don't have a proper schedule yet, but make sure you hit the like, all of this kind of stuff, subscribe. That way you increase the chances of being notified when I do come live, right? So thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.